Welcome back to our apologetics curriculum, Ready to Answer. This is the second episode in our series, Evidence for God. And for this episode, we're going to be looking at the design argument for God. Keep in mind that when we talk about evidence that points to God, that we're simply learning how to bring people closer to God. This might not be the exact way we bring somebody straight to Christianity. There's going to be people out there that you're talking to who believe nothing about the Bible and want nothing to do with Christianity, but they are willing to hear about evidence for God. And so that's why we're looking into these arguments, this evidence for God. And also it just helps build our faith when we see all of this evidence that confirms what we already know and trust in the Bible. Evidence for God based on design. As I said, that's what we're looking at today. Specifically, that the universe is designed, or this term finely tuned. The universe is finely tuned to support life, and I'll get into what that means in a moment. The argument goes like this. Number one, every design had a designer. Number two, the universe has highly complex design. Number three, therefore, the universe had a designer. So you can already see what we're getting at here. And it seems to have been designed with us in mind. In other words, the universe is intricately designed so that life may be preserved on Earth. And what's fascinating is that non-Christians and Christian scientists alike many of them both agree with this idea that the universe seems to have been designed with us on planet Earth in mind. Science shows that there is fine-tuning in the universe. So what do I mean by fine-tuning? Picture a radio, an old radio, where you had to turn the dial just right to receive the station. Well, there are many features in the universe to show that things have been finely tuned just right to support life. That if it was just slightly off on one side or the other, there could be no life at all. And so finely tuned is this universe that it seems to be on a razor's edge, that anything different would cause there to not be life. So that's what we're going to be looking at today and how it points to God. Furthermore, many scientists believe that the best explanation for the fine-tuning of the universe is that it was designed by an intelligent being. And that's very important to keep in mind. Some sort of intelligent mind must have been behind the intricacy that we see in the universe, because it's incredibly unlikely that it would have been tuned by chance, that it all just happened by chance. Yet many non-Christian scientists believe that it came from nothing by chance. They believe that it was by chance that the universe and the solar system came together in such a way to support life, or they'll just admit that they don't know how it all came together. But when we observe the pattern of life, we can see that there is fine-tuning, and it points to a fine-tuner. Or said differently, design in the universe points to a designer. For example, William Paley used this analogy. If you're walking through a forest and you see this watch, and you pick it up and observe it, and you see the minute hand and the second hand and the hour hand, and it's clicking away, what would your assumption be about how the watch came in the forest, how it got there? Would you think, well, the clock was formed by chance? Would you think that all of the forms and functions just came together on its own and it just happened to be able to tell the time? Or would you assume that someone designed the watch, that they finely tuned it to serve a purpose? You would know that some intelligent being gathered the materials and put them together to serve the function of telling the time. In fact, whenever you see something designed, whether it's a watch or a car or a house or a phone or a computer, we know it came from an intelligent mind, that things don't just come together like that by chance. Someone designed it because it's complex. The universe, it turns out, is so much more complicated than a simple watch or any of the other things I named. The universe is intricately fine-tuned in order to sustain life. Here's what I mean. Scientists know that there are about 36 features or factors in the universe that make our planet just right for life. And if any of these features were slightly different, there would be no universe, or at least not a universe that could support life. Here's just a few of those features. If the Earth were just a little bit closer to the sun, we'd burn up. If we were a little bit further away, we'd all freeze. This is called the Goldilocks zone. Goldilocks goes into the house, she eats the porridge, she says, this one's too hot, this one's too cold, this one's just right. Well, that's planet Earth. We're in the Goldilocks zone. But not only are we in the Goldilocks zone because of temperature, but dozens and dozens of other factors that make it just right to sustain life. Here's another factor: oxygen levels. Oxygen makes up 21% of the Earth's atmosphere. 21% is what makes life possible on Earth. But listen to this. If oxygen levels were at 25%, fires would randomly ignite everywhere. If oxygen levels were at 15%, we'd all suffocate. Here's another factor: the expansion rate of the universe. The universe is expanding, but if it expanded too fast, if it expanded any faster than it already is, we would cease to exist. If it expanded any slower, then galaxies would have never formed and there would have never been an Earth. Gravity is another factor. Geisler and Turek write, if the gravitational force were altered by 0.37 zeros followed by a 1%, our sun would not exist, and therefore neither would we. Talk about precision. Again, there are dozens of factors and features that show that the universe is so precise that even if it were slightly altered in any way, there would not be life on Earth. That's why even non-Christian scientists have admitted that the universe seems to have been designed with us in mind. But as Christians, we know that it doesn't just seem designed, it is designed by an almighty God with infinite knowledge. Romans 1:19 says, for his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world and the things that he has made. Psalm 19 says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork. Day to day pours out speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. King David is saying that you can look up to the stars and see how intricately designed the universe is and realize that this came from an intelligent being, that this came from an almighty God. As a result of the theory of design, many scientists and biologists and astrophysicists have all come to believe in God. So it's a powerful argument. It's a powerful line of evidence that directly points to there being a God. So what do we do with this information? Well, one, it should encourage your own faith, because what you already have believed as a Christian, that there is a God who created the universe, is also confirmed by science. So science and religion are not at odds. The scientific data in the universe points to the Creator. And the Creator, we know, is the God of the Bible. Number two, it should empower our Christian witness. But we use this information wisely. Once I was out evangelizing and I met this atheist, and he said, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God. And so I gave him all of this information all at once, was very excited about it. I said, well, don't you see all of the design in the universe and how everything is finely tuned to support life? And so that had to have come from a super intelligent being. And he just paused, looked at me and said, I have to go now. I ended the conversation by just throwing him so much information. I bombarded him. So this can be a conversation stopper if you don't use it wisely. And so, who do you share this with and when? Well, you have to be prayerful about it. You have to be asking God, when is the right time to talk about the design argument? But I'd suggest that when somebody asks, is there any evidence for God? Or they say, I don't believe in a God because I don't think there is evidence. This, I think, would be the time to share it. It can be very powerful. And if you guys are having a hard time understanding this material, don't beat yourself up about it. It's complex, and it takes work, and it takes time to really grasp the main idea. But then once you grasp it, it's so worth it, because that's one more line of evidence that helps somebody come to believe in God. Next, we're going to look at another example of intelligent design found in life, and this evidence also points to God. Thanks. We'll see you then.